So, I've got a question for you. Are we accidentally creating job description employees? You know, people who are boxed in by their roles. It's a huge question in today's workplace, and we're going to dive into why it matters so much.
Ah, that famous line. We've all heard it, right? Maybe we've even said it ourselves. It's a phrase that can just stop everything dead in its tracks. And honestly, it's the perfect place to start our story today.
You know, this whole train of thought kicked off because of one single, really surprising conversation. It totally changed how I think about what it means to grow and succeed inside a company.
And listen, this chat wasn't with just anyone. We're talking about one of our best people. I mean, this guy is bright, he's got a great positive attitude, and he always delivers. Which is exactly why his response to my next request it floored me.
So I asked him to step up and take on a really major client account. And his response, it created this disconnect. And suddenly we were looking at two very different, but you know what, both pretty valid sides of the same story.
So from his point of view, he was just being professional, right? He was protecting his boundaries, managing the responsibilities that were clearly laid out for him. Totally fair. But from where I was sitting, as his leader, this was a massive, high-stakes request. And I'd assumed we were on the same page about how important it was. And here is the absolute key to this whole thing. This was never about a bad attitude. Not at all. The real problem was a total gap in perspective. We were both looking at the exact same situation, but we were seeing two completely different pictures. You know, it's kind of like that classic iceberg metaphor. He was seeing the little tip sticking out of the water, while I was staring at the massive hidden part below the surface. And that's when it hit me. This wasn't just his blind spot. It was mine too. As a leader, I had completely failed because I just assumed he could see the whole iceberg, even though I'd never actually shown it to him. So what was that hidden 90%? What was the critical stuff he was missing? Well, for starters, this one client, they made up almost a third of our entire revenue. A third! On top of that, we were facing a make-or-break renewal with them. And finally, the success of our whole team, his job included, was riding on this. The stakes couldn't have been higher. This story, it really shines a light on a challenge that I think we all face, right? How do we get past the simple black and white lines of a job description?
It really all comes down to this one question. How do we shift from this transactional, I do what's on the paper relationship with our jobs, to a place where there's a real shared sense of ownership, where everyone feels like they're a part of the mission?
The great news is, there is a way forward. It's not hopeless. So let's lay out a clear two-part roadmap for building that kind of culture. Okay, for all the leaders out there, our role is so much bigger than just handing out tasks. We have to share the why. We've got to communicate the risks, the opportunities, the whole big picture behind everything we ask our team to do. Because when it comes to true ownership, context isn't just important, it's everything. And hey, this isn't just on the leaders. For every professional, growth means having the courage to look up from your to-do list and ask, okay, how does this thing I'm doing right now connect to the big goals? It's about changing how we see feedback. It's not a critique of what you did yesterday, it's a roadmap for how valuable you can be tomorrow. Because at the end of the day, this is the goal, right? Shared success. It's that moment when it just clicks for everyone. That deep down understanding that your personal success and the company's success aren't two separate things. They're one and the same.
So, this all brings us to one last, really important question that I want you to think about.
After everything we've talked about, the leaders need to provide context, the professionals need to seek it out, is saying that's not in my job description ever really the right move? Something to chew on for sure. Hey, if you found this story useful, make sure you follow Chiranjeevi Pannem. He shares a lot more of these kinds of honest, real-world leadership lessons. And if this really hit home, do me a favor and reshare it with your network. Let's get more people in on this important conversation.
And of course, don't forget to tap that little bell icon. That way you won't miss out on any more real-life lessons coming straight from the workplace. Thanks for watching.